So tree is a non-linear data structure. So in the beginning, we have divided the data structures into two. One is linear, another is non-linear. We have seen all linear data structures like queue, stock, arrays, linked list. They're all linear data structures. So when you take non-linear, tree is a non-linear data structure. So why it is non-linear is because the tree and graph, which are two data structures which maintain, which are actually called as non-linear data structures, they maintain some hierarchical information. So there is multiple levels of information is maintained. Wherever there is hierarchical information that needs to be maintained, then actually we go for non-linear data structure like tree and graph. One more thing is, see, when you take any linear data structure, if I want to, there will be only one path between two nodes. Suppose if I take one node, another node, there will be only one path. Or from one node, there will be only one path. Now, if I take a tree or graph, there will be one path. There may be multiple paths from a given node. That is uh, another way of saying it is not. So if I'm taking a array or linked list, so there is ith item. Suppose there is ith item. I can reach I plus one item from ith item, or from I plus one item I can reach ith item. But in case of tree and graphs, so there may be some ith item. I may reach jth, kth, and lth item. So I may reach multiple items. So there will be multiple paths from one given node. There is a multiple paths. It is not necessary that every node will have multiple paths, but there will be there is a possibility of multiple paths in tree data structure. If you take the another way is it represents the multiple levels of information, tree and graph, or hierarchical information. So that is one definition of non-linear data structure. Now, when you take tree is a non-linear data structure and it maintains hierarchical information. Tree and graph are almost same. If there is a cycle, then it is called as a graph. Otherwise, we can say it is a tree. So that is one major difference between tree and graph. But the applications of tree and applications of graph are entirely different. Tree is very widely used data structure, but only difference you can say between tree and graph is there are no cycles in tree, but in graph there are cycles. And when you take tree, when you have a natural tree, there will be bottom root, and it grows like this. So this is how a tree grows. This is you can take it as normal, the real life tree. But in data structure, the tree is reverse. There will be root present, and it grows downwards. It grows downwards. Like that it grows. So that is another definition of tree. We will see some tree terminologies. Tree terminologies before we see the technical representation of tree and other things. There are several things we should know. One is root. Then there is, we can say edge. There is one more term we have to know. Then parent, there is a parent, child. Then we can say siblings. There is, we can say leaf node. Leaf node. So non-leaf node. Non-leaf node. Then there is level. There is height. So there are different terminologies we have to know, and there is subtree kind of thing. So these are some terminologies we should know. So we start with the root. See, tree is collection of nodes. Tree is hierarchical data structure, which is collection of nodes. It is collection of nodes. And when you take the root is a special node or base node. Root is a special node. Special node, which is base node, means it is a starting point, a foundation, and from from root the tree grows. So tree grows downwards from root. So that is root. So root is a special node. So tree is collection of nodes. So it is a collection of nodes and root is a special node because it is the starting node or base node, because from there the tree keep on grows. Because tree we represent in our day-to-day life from bottom to up, but here in data structure we write it from top to bottom. So root is a base node or first node from where the tree keep on grows. So when you take a tree, so if I take some tree, we can give some names here. I'll give A, B, C, D. So then I can write E, F, I can say G, H. Like that, the tree keep on grows. There may be one node here, I, then J, K. So because this is the starting node, it is the base node from where the tree starts or begins or it grows. So this is root node. Root node. Now, when you take the next terminology, uh, the line, the link which connects two nodes is called as edge. So the thing which connects two nodes is called as edge. So this is an edge. So this is an edge. So the line which connects two nodes is called as edge or link. You can also call it as a link. So that is next terminology we should know in graph. And when you keep on when you take level, the position at which a node present is called as level. So this is level. Normally level is because I told you the tree represents the hierarchical information or multiple levels of information. The starting point is root. We can say root is at level 0, then level 1, level 2, and so on. Level 2 and so on. Level 2, level 3, and so on. So when a node is at some level, and from there, suppose if there is a node from node is at some level, suppose some X node, from there is a link at the next level, then the next level node is called as child to X. X will be the parent. So the two nodes which are connected with a link and at different levels, immediate next levels, or successive levels. One is at level I, another is at level I plus 1. Then we say there is a parent-child relationship between them. So X is a parent node and Y is the child node. And all the nodes with same parents are called as siblings. Now, if you take this G, E, F, H, they're all siblings because their parent is B. B is the parent for all these nodes. So all the nodes with same parents are called as siblings. So this is one more term we should know. Siblings. So parent, child we have seen. Then the next term is when you take a node with no children, a node with no children is called as a leaf node. So there is a leaf node. A node with no children is called as leaf node. And others are called as non-leaf nodes. So leaf node and non-leaf. So if there is at least one child, then it is leaf node. At least one child is present, then it is a leaf node. Otherwise, it is non-leaf node. Sorry, at least one child it is non-leaf node. No child it is leaf node. This is also called as internal node. Internal node. So the leaf node, non-leaf node is also called as internal node, and it is also, you can also call as non-terminal node. Non-terminal node. So a node with at least one child is called as non-leaf or internal node or non-terminal node. Then a node with no children is leaf node, and you can also call as external node, or you can also call as terminal node, because it is the end. I cannot go further from there. That's why it is terminal node. So this is one more, you can call it as, these leaf nodes are called as external nodes or terminal nodes. Any definition we left. So levels we have taken level 1. So the maximum level of the tree is called as depth of the tree, or you can also say height of the tree. So height is nothing but the maximum level of the tree. Maximum level of the tree. Maximum level of the tree will be the level of the tree will be the height of the tree. So, for example, here if you take there is level 0, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. Now level 4 is the maximum level, so the depth height of the tree is 4. Height of the tree here is considered as 4. So that is one more thing we should know. One more definition I think we have we are doing. Then any definition, then I think one more is subtree. So normally the see, tree is a recursive one. So what tree is tree, what it does is it is a node, and it will lead to several other nodes. And if you take any child of, suppose if I take root of a, root a and its child b, b is a subtree. This is a subtree because it's a recursive one. This is also a subtree. Again, subtree is a tree with some root, and there will be some levels of information. This is a subtree. So tree is actually a recursive definition. So the every child of root will form again a tree. So every node's child will form again a tree. It's a recursive representation. So I can also take the here I what is this IJK. This is also a subtree. So it's a recursive definition. So that is actually a tree. Normally in computers, instead of trees, computers go for representation of binary trees, because there are several advantages of binary trees or trees. We'll see those advantages little later. So when you take binary tree is a special tree where at most for any given node, there will be at most two children. Most two children. If any given node, if you take for any node has at most two children, the number of children are restricted. In tree, there is no such restriction. There may be one child, two children, three, and so on. But if there is a restriction, that restriction is at most two children, then it is called as a binary tree. So binary tree, normally we represent most of our data in the form of a binary tree. There are several applications. So we are going to learn much about binary trees. Trees generally we learn in some DBMS representation of data. Otherwise, in data structures, most of the times we go for binary tree, where it's a tree where there is at most two children will be present. So for example, suppose if I take some node A, it will have at most two children. And this will further have at most two children. Suppose D, if I take E, and I'll take F here, and then I'll take G, so H. This is a binary tree. So any given node, if you take, there are at most 2 children present. So when there are any two, when you have binary tree, so when I take level I, the maximum number of nodes that can be present at any level I is 2 power I. Maximum number of nodes that can be present at any given level is 2 power I. For example, this is level 0. So level 0 root, there will be only one node. Here there is level 1, 2 nodes that can be present. Level 2, 4. Here there are 2 already present. Here there is no node. Maximum we can go for 2 power I number of nodes. So at any given level, if you take a binary tree, it has some properties. So the first one property what you can know is at any given level I, the maximum number of nodes that can be present are 2 power I. Now the maximum number of nodes that can be present in a tree of depth or height h. Maximum number of nodes in a tree of height h is 2 power h minus 1. So here this is level 3. So level 3 is here is actually 2 power h plus 1. I think it is h plus 1. So 2 power 3, 2 power 4 minus 1. So there can be 15 nodes. Here maximum 1 node that can be present, 2 nodes, then 8. So totally 15 nodes that can be present. So at any given level, if the depth of the tree is given, so then maximum number of nodes that can be present with height h is 2 power h plus 1 minus 1. So 2 power height here is 3. So 3 plus 1, 4 minus 1, 15 nodes. So the tree with the height 3 can have maximum 15 nodes present. That is one more thing here. Next, we call a tree as a complete tree. So a tree is said to be complete. A tree is said to be complete when it has all the nodes. There are full nodes, maximum nodes present in each level except the last level, and even the last level, the children are from left to right. So that is complete tree. A tree is said to be complete. A tree is said to be complete when it has maximum nodes. It has maximum number of nodes, all levels except the last level, And also one more constraint here is at last level, the children must be left side. Children must be left side only. That means they have to the filling of the nodes will be from left. Like for example, suppose if I take this is a complete tree. Now this is a complete tree because last level has has less number of nodes from left. Now this is also a complete tree. Now this is a complete tree. Now if I take this, this is a complete tree. Now I cannot write here and say this is complete because unless I fill this leftmost node, I cannot fill this. So this is not a complete tree. So when I take this, this is a complete tree. This is complete because all the levels except the last level have maximum nodes. So maximum 1, maximum 2, last level is should have 4, but it's not required. But the nodes, whatever that are there, they must be there from left side. The filling of the nodes will be from left side. So this is complete tree. Now if I take A, B, C, D, now this is not a complete tree. This is not complete, not complete. It is not because they are not from left side. Now even if I take some node like there is A, B, C, D, E. Suppose if I take this F, this is also not complete. Why it is not complete? Because except the last level, all levels must have maximum number of nodes. This is level 0, has 1 node maximum. Level 1, 2 nodes, they are there. Level 2, 4 nodes, they are not there. So it is not complete. So the last level is 3. Except last level, all the levels must have the maximum number of nodes. And last level, the nodes must be at left side only. Means from left, the tree must grow. That is complete tree. There is also a tree called full binary tree. That is complete binary tree, what we have seen, full binary tree. Now, when I take full binary tree, any node which has any node, if you take in a tree, if it has either 0 or 2 children, always, there is no node with 1 child, then it is a full binary tree. So full binary tree is the tree, binary tree where every node has either 0 children or 1 or 2 children. There is no node with 1 child. That is full binary tree. So you can say no node with a single child, 1 child. So if there is no node with 1 child, then it is full tree. Suppose if I take A, B, C, D. Now if I take this is full tree because A has 2 children, B has 0, C has 2 children, D has 0, 0. So that 2 are 0, no 1 child. So if I take this node A, B, D, so this is not full. It is not full because B has 1 child, but it is complete. Now this is full but not complete. But not complete. Now suppose if I take a node A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now this tree is full and complete, because when you take or sorry, I can also, this is full and complete anyhow. So I can take this. This is also E, F, G, H. I. This is full and complete tree because it is complete. It's complete because all levels except the last node have maximum number of nodes. It is full because every node has either 0 children or 2 children. So this is full and complete. So that is the some trees. So this is some properties of the trees. Some properties will learn when we keep on discuss these trees. So that is the tree. And before we proceed, we'll see the representation of trees in memory. Representation of trees. Like I told you already, any data structure can be represented using linear representation and linked representation. So any data structure can have linear representation, which is nothing but array, linked representation, which is nothing but linked list. So even trees can be represented using arrays and linked list. Now, when you take array, we'll be writing programs in both the array and linked list. We'll see. First, when you take array representation, which is linear representation, array representation. So if I take some tree like this, suppose if the tree is like this, so the size of the array must be 2 power h plus 1 minus 1. That is because the maximum number of nodes. So here this is level 0, level 1, level 2 and level 3. So the level 3 means there can be 2 power 4 minus 1. So 15 nodes. So the array size must be 15. So this is one important thing. So array size must be equals to maximum number of nodes that are possible with that depth. So this is 2 power h plus 1. So 2 power h plus 1 minus 1. This is the array size. So when I take this array size, I have array of 15 elements. So I'll take array of 15 elements. So that is the requirement of the tree. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yes, nice. This is 14. Now, when I take a node, if a node, if node is at ith position, if a node is at ith position, so if a node is at ith position, its left child, this is a rule, left child must be at 2 into I plus 1 position, I plus 1, and the right child must be 2 into I plus 2 position. Here why we are normally suppose if we start index at 0, so the simple way of representing this is, so instead of writing like this, what you can do is, so when left child is at ith position, it's sorry, when a node is at ith position, left child must be at 2 into ith position, and right child must be 2 into I plus 1 position. This is the normal rule when the index starts at 0. So we'll follow the same rule, but because the index is starting at 0, we'll keep on reduce 1. So when I take A is at root. So ith position, A is present. So when A is at ith position, assume that it is starting 1. So the left child must be at 2. That means at position B. Right child must be 2 into 1 plus 1, 2, sorry, 3. So it will be at C. Now when I take B's left child, there is no left child. So right child B is at position 1. We assume that it is 2 because we are starting from 0. So assume that it is 2. So its right child must be at 2 into 2 plus 1, fifth position. So fifth is 1 less you take. So D is at this position. Now when I take C is at position 2 as because we are starting in C, we are starting at position 2. We are starting with index value starting at 0. So when I take the sixth left child should be at sixth position, 1 less, so it is E. Next, when I take F, E is at fifth, so take it as 6. 6 into 2, 12, plus 1, 13, minus 1, which is 12. So this is at 12th position. So this is F is at 12th position. This is how the above tree is represented. So if a node is at ith position, its left child, assume that, okay, this index you assume, we are taking in C like this, assume this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then it is easily understood and followed. So A is at root must be always at the beginning position. Root must be always at the beginning position. Left child must be at 2. When a node is at ith position, its left child must be at 2 into ith position. So A's left child is B, 2 into ith position 2 when the index is starting at 2. C is right child 2i plus 1, 3. So it is same. Then suppose B is at second position, its right child is D. So it is 2 into I. So 4 plus 1, 5. So D is at fifth position. C is at third position. Its left child is 3 into 2, 6. So it is sixth position. Then F is right child of E. E is at sixth position. So it is right child. So 2 into 6, 12 plus 1. 13. So it is this is how the tree is represented in array representation. So this is the rule of uh, the array representation of tree. So this is very important thing for array representation of tree. This rule is very important. In another way, you can say when a child is at ith position, when a child is when a child at ith position, then its parent, what you can do it, we can find it parent, we can find it at I by 2th position. This is integer division. So for example, 13 by 2 is 6. So the parent of F is at 6th position, correct. Now suppose if I take E is at 6th position, divide 6 by 3, 6 by 2, so it is 3. So E's parent C is at third position. Now take D is at fifth position, divided. So D's parent is B at second position. So that is how you can say this is actually obtained from the first rule. This rule leads to this. So when a child is at ith position, then we can find its parent at I by 2, 2th position. This is one more thing, but it is derived from the first one. So this is representation of a tree using array. Now, if I take linked representation, so in linked representation, there are three fields. There are three fields here. One is data field. Then another is left child, pointer to left child, and pointer to right child. So this is so in linked representation, every node has three fields. One is data, another is L child, another is R child. So there are three fields. So data contains the information about the information that needs to be stored. It can be anything. L child is pointer to left child, pointer to left child. Because linked representation is with all pointers, pointer to left child. Then R child is pointer to right child. Pointer to right child. So when you take this same tree, suppose if I take this same tree here, so I'm taking the same tree, I can represent like this. If it is linked representation, take A, then there is B, D, E. And suppose if there is no child, left or right child, that will be filled with null. So when I take this, this is data A, B, and F for data. Now A's left child is B, so there is a pointer here. A's right child is C, there is a pointer here. And B does not have left child, so this is null. And B has right child, which is D. And C has left child, which is E. C does not have right child, so null. And D does not have any children, so null. And E has a right child, there is a pointer. And E does not have left child, so there is null. And this is no children here, null and null. So this is the representation of linked representation of a tree. So root node, the starting node, this is there will be a pointer to root node, Then from there you can go wherever you want. So when I take the root node is represented with the name root. Then from there will be links. So for any given node, if there is a left child, then the L child will be pointing to that. If there is no, then if there is a right child, R child will be pointing to that. If there is any child is not there, suppose left is not there, right is not there, that pointer will be filled with 0. So that is the linked representation of tree. Mostly we will go for linked representation because there are advantages which we already discussed in the beginning. So pointer to left child and filled with null. Filled with null if no child present. So left child is not present, it is filled with null. Right child is not